In the past, no one noticed the upcoming disaster owed to the gradual change in topography of the world. For the people around the globe, it was just another drought, another flood, another species going extinct until the masses were affected and threatened all at once. The sun was growing larger day by day and was going to engulf Earth in 100 years. As a collective attempt to save mankind from extinction, the governments of the world unite, forming the United Earth Government, or UEG. With the aim of maximizing survival, the UEG came up with an unimaginable plan to propel the Earth out of the solar system to our new home 4.2 light-years away. This attempt at human migration was named as the Wandering Earth Project, with mankind devoting all of its resources to create 10,000 Earth engines to make the planet move out of its axis. The team, consisting of 311 Chinese pilots along with 709 engineers, was selected to complete the job. Meanwhile, the UEG gathered astronautical resources from around the globe and spent 3 decades building the navigational platform of the International Space Station. The space station aimed to travel at a relative distance of Earth, providing navigation and guidance throughout the planet's journey. With projections for drastic climate change, the UEG built adjacent cities beneath each Earth engine, aiming to house the people before Earth's arrival at its new home. Entry to these underground cities will be given based on lucky draws. Preparing themselves for the worst, the people of Earth were ready to bid farewell to their solar system. In the present, Liu Peiqiang tells his toddler son about Jupiter. The son, Liu Qua, points out that Jupiter has an eye. Liu Peiqiang corrects his son, saying that it's a huge storm that's going on that planet, and continues to explain to him how Jupiter is made up of 90% hydrogen, and maybe one day they will be able to see the planet up close without the need of a telescope. Liu Peiqiang assures his son he will come back that day. Liu Qua asks him where he is going, and he replies that he is going on a mission, the most important one in the whole world, the Wandering Earth Project. Liu Peiqiang tells his own father that once he leaves, he will be the only custodian for Liu Kuai, and he shall take over the rights of the underground city residency without drawing the lots, adding that it's the only way the two of them will survive. 17 years later, the morning news announces that the first batch who had left for the International Space Platform 15 to 20 years ago will arrive soon. A grown-up Liu Qua can be seen packing his stuff as he stares at the picture of his father and mother. Meanwhile, in the school classroom, Han Duo tells the teacher how she only wanted to see the outside world. As the teacher tells her that it can be dangerous, Liu Qua breaks the fake display system, causing it to malfunction. As panic erupts among students, he sneaks Duo out. As they walk through the hallways of the underground city, New Year celebrations are on. They reach the den of a dealer named Yiku Ge. Liu Qua asks him if his thermal suits were ready after handing over the agreed price or things. As the two of them change into their borrowed suits and prepare to leave, the dealer figures that they had no intentions of returning them. As Yi Ji and his men chase them, Liu Kuai and his adopted sister Han Duo run and hide themselves in the line of people leaving for the outer world. Due to the presence of guards, Yi Ji and his men have to let them go. As the two of them leave the underground residency for the outer world, their suits are checked for fitness, and Quiet tells Duo that since they are 5 kilometers underground, it'll take them 15 minutes to reach the surface. On the surface, they arrive at the frozen city of Beijing. As the two of them enter a transporter vehicle with their grandpa's pass, Liu Kuai struggles to drive it, almost causing an accident immediately. On the navigation platform, Liu Peiqiang prepares to leave. As this is his last day of service at the platform, his crew members congratulate him as he was about to see his son. Liu mentions his concern regarding the Earth passing Jupiter, but a fellow astronaut assures him that it was inevitable and hoped that God would bless them. On the communication channels, a voice announces that Jupiter's gravitational trajectory had been detected and there were chances of collision. Meanwhile, on Earth, Liu Qua and his sister are arrested and held for stealing a transporter and are in the lockup, where they meet another detainee named Tim. When their grandpa comes to bail them out, the prison guard arrests him as well, accusing him of lending his pass to the kids. However, the situation soon changes as the Earth is hit with a massive earthquake caused due to the failure of thousands of Earth engines. As all the structures crumple and fall, Liu Kuei, along with his sister, grandpa, and Tim as well, barely manages to escape. Emergency Protocol 3 is engaged, prioritizing the prevention of collision with Jupiter. At the space station, Peiqiang manages to contact the transporter driven by his father. He figures out the safest route and destination for them to reach and get back to safety. On their way to the safe base, Liu Kuei and his team get intercepted by a rescue team unit who conscripts them for their mission to Hangzhou Engine 01. Their job is to carry the lighter core. As the crew moves further towards the Hangzhou engine into the Shanghai area. They are warned of tectonic plate movements. However, upon arriving at the site, they witness their once home to be a frozen wreck. As they move along the frozen remnants of the city, Han Xiang, Grandpa, tells Duo of the life in the past. Learning of the recent developments at the Earth, Pei Qiang urges the commander to keep out the civilians from the rescue mission for their safety, upon which the commander explains to him the severity of the situation and assures him to take full responsibility of his family. Liu Kwa gets into an argument with his dad over the call. Meanwhile, due to sudden drop in air pressure, their air escort plane crashes and conditions worsen. Finding themselves stuck into an ice canyon and left with the last lighter core, the rescue team has no option but to climb out through a crumbling building. Upon their hike through the elevator shaft, the crew faces another disaster due to the constant shaking of the earth, resulting in multiple casualties, including Han Xiang, Grandpa, devastated by the loss. Both Liu Kwa and Han Duo decided to go separate ways from the rescue team. As they move forward, they come across a transporter that seems functional. Inside is Li Yiyi, an emergency technical observer for UEG, bound to take the lighter core for another engine. Upon hearing the plea for help from Wang Lai, the captain of the resume team bound for Hangzhou engine, Liu Kwa, decides to help. Meanwhile, the rescue team of Wang Lai arrives at a destroyed site of the Hangzhou engine. As another of their crew members succumbs to the harsh weather, the team loses all hope and destroys the lighter core they were carrying. As Wang Lai announces the end of their mission, just then Liu Kwa arrives in their new transporter and announces that he has another core in the transporter and requests Wang Lai and his team for their assistance in rescuing the Sulawesi engine. Meanwhile, at the space platform, Liu Peiqiang wakes and notices that the platform had strayed from its path and that Earth's atmosphere was getting sucked by Jupiter. In an attempt to avoid disaster, Liu Peiqiang with Makarov decides to get to the central control module of the station through spacewalk. In an attempt to get to the module, both of them jump to catch it. However, the system recognizes them as threat attacks and hits Makarov, breaking his helmet. Makarov, knowing that he won't make it, pushes his friend away in order to save him and embraces death as Liu manages to get inside safely. However, here the system tells him that all of its actions were valid and authorized by UEG, meaning that there were no system failures. MOS, the AI system, announces that the Wandering Earth project is now a failure and that soon Earth will Jupiter's orbit and disintegrate completely. As a last hope for mankind's survival, MOS will engage Project Helios with 300,000 human embryos and millions of seeds for crops, DNA maps of all animal species, and documented history of civilizations stored at the space platform. The aim is now the successful revival of humans at a new host planet. With this news, havoc wreaks on Earth. At the space station, Liu Peiqiang tries to contact his son, Liu Kwa, but to no avail, as the two of them recall their pasts and differences while being thousands of kilometers away. Liu Kwa remembers the day his father tells him about Jupiter and how it is composed of 90% hydrogen. Suddenly, a crazy plan strikes Kwa's mind as he runs to Li Yiyi, asking if the mixture of Earth's and Jupiter's atmosphere is combustible. As Liu works on and explains his plan to the crew, everyone has no choice but to agree, as it is the last hope to save the planet and everyone aboard. Their plan was to use the Earth engine as a match to ignite Jupiter and use the combustion force to propel Earth away from the threat. As the crew reaches the Sulawesi engine site, they all split up and get to work. Han Duo requests backup, but to no avail, as everyone around the world seems to have lost all hope. Failing in their attempt to save the planet, Liu Kwa and rest are fighting tooth and nail, but due to being in small numbers, their efforts are in vain. Suddenly, Duo finds his grandpa's tag, which he used to contact Liu Peiqiang. She immediately contacts him. Upon hearing their plan, Liu attempts to convince the UEG to pass orders to workers around the globe to assist the crew at Sulawesi engine. The UEG refuses to pass the orders but connects Duo to tell their situation to the rest of the world. As a result of Han Duo's plea for help, several rescue units arrive at the site to assist them. Together with their combined efforts, they ignite the engines, launching beams of plasma straight towards Jupiter. However, they face another setback as the beam falls 5.000 kilometers short in reaching Jupiter's surface. However, Liu Peiqiang has a plan of his own. He decides to use the thousands of gallons of fuel on the space station to initiate the plan of igniting Jupiter, going against the initial commands by the UEG. As Louis moves towards his death in his heroic attempt to save the planet, he talks to his son for one last time, remembering the time they had spent together. He hits Jupiter's surface, igniting the gaseous planet, and vanishes. Liu Kwa sees his father as a star for the last time as he promised, and breaks down. Now the people of Earth must take cover under the engine to protect themselves against the upcoming shockwave. Captain Wang, in an attempt to save Duo from the falling debris, gets crushed and dies. As Kwa, Duo and Tim try to outrun the upcoming impact, their transporter is hit by a shockwave, making them fall in a deep trench. In an attempt to save Duo, Kwa breaks his helmet and faints as Duo begs Tim to save her fainting brother. As Liu Kwa is losing consciousness, he notes that Earth has survived. 3 years later, father, Liu Qua, now a professional in the service of UEG, embarks to the outside world along with his sister, and Li Yi. The world has faced a grave challenge and big losses, but humans are stronger than ever and ready to continue their voyage, which is said to last around 100 generations and called the Wandering Earth Project, to their new home and new sun. So that was the recap for the 2019 movie The Wandering Earth. If you enjoyed the video, you may also like this.